Thank you. Good afternoon. Today we will be looking at another course of study, which is the Christian marriage. It's very important that as Christians we understand the concept of marriage. Most Christian scholars and bodies believe marriage to be a state that is created by God, for a lifelong relationship between the man who is a husband and the woman who becomes a wife. One man, one woman. It's also known as holy matrimony. It is the most intimate relationship that can exist between the opposite sex. And it is the only relationship where sex, as a matter of fact, is permitted. And so it is sacred and it's a gift from God. While Catholic may view it as holy matrimony, as a sacrament, the evangelicals and the Protestants will consider it sacred and central to the community of faith that they belong to. Although Scripture considers it honorable, it is not mandated. So marriage is not for everyone. So we need to get that. Christians seek to hold the seriousness of wedding vows. Yet they respond with compassion to divorce by permitting separation. Not divorce. So we look at Malachi 16, we discover frowns at outright divorce. But separation, yes, now somebody's going to ask you, Doc, Jesus said an account of evidence. Now, many preachers also say the same. Remember that Jesus was speaking with the Jews here. Within the context of the Jewish culture, custom, tradition, and deism, for adultery to be confirmed, they needed to be more than one witness who see the act of consummation. So, in other words, if a man and a woman are in the process and Mr. A comes in and sees the act of consummation, he goes out and says, wow, A and B are in an adulterous relationship. Come, let's go and see. And then the second guy goes in and does not see the act. Maybe they've already finished. And that guy who first came out to say, I saw them, is punished. For blasphemy. Falsehood. So nobody wants to hang his neck out there. So when you see, it's just natural to just walk in because you don't know how long the act has been. Perhaps they are just terminating it, and before you go out and get it. And that was for that time, when there were no cameras, the sophistication of today's technology was not available. So, but in essence, Jesus was trying to tell them that yes, but this is exactly what they wanted to hear. I can divorce, I can also kill it, and I can't already do it. But they needed to prove it, which was close to impossible at that time. So, invariably, he was telling them it's not possible to bring a divorce, so it's not possible with divorce. For separation, yes, to separate. So now let's quickly take a look at some of the theological views we have on marriage. We have the patriarchal view. This is a popular view which teaches that the woman is created as a helper to the man. Of course, all of these views have their so-called patriarchal proponents see woman as a bearer of children and keeper of the home. They teach that man is the image and the glory of God in terms of authority, while the woman is the glory of the husband or the man, and therefore the wife has to be obedient to the head, put on good. The husband being the head of the woman, and Jesus Christ being the head of the husband. And this is strictly based on the Old Testament teaching. where she's considered as a property. Look at Matthew 19, verse 46, Mark 10, verse 17. You equally have the Christian feminism view. They teach that marriage is, as brothers, illustrating the relationship between Christ and the church. So a marriage is to mirror the relationship that Christ has with the church, an undying love. Where the church may not be perfect, always falling in and out of sin. And here you have a perfect Jesus Christ who understands the weaknesses of the church and yet loves the church. So in that case, the parents or one of the spouses, or even the both may be having babies. Each, irrespective of all of these failures that can still carry on. And then you have the complementarism view that both the men and the women, in as much as they are biologically designed differently, they also have different gender-specific rules that allows each one to complement the other. So their view of marriage is that while the husband and the wife are equal worth before God, husband and wives have varying functions and responsibilities also given by God that are based on gender, and that male leadership is politically ordained so that man is always a senior authority figure in this respect in this marriage. Then you have the egalitarian view. From the French word, you have the egel, meaning equal. They believe that marriage is intended to be marriage without any form of hierarchy. A full and equal partnership. So the man and the husband and wife. They emphasize that nowhere in the scriptures connect. New Testament is now this well put me to be a little bit of confusion in some other views coming that might use it. That's surprising. So there are so many confusions about this situation. Not only at the church, but even church leaders, lay clergy. A lot of them are surprisingly confused. Why? They think most because of this books, magnets, social media, some legal systems of certain countries that will tell you that the gays have rights to that, and all of this is affecting the church, the world of So all of these lot of cultural barriers, they all glamorize sex, adultery, fornication. They glamorize single parenthood, in their findings. All of this ideas our society today very sick, ultimately very confused. So we're going to be seeing a new generation of persons, young persons who are going to grow up in the next 20 to 30 years with a totally different opinion of marriage teaching today. But I do pray that all of this stands true. So the global desire for individualism actually hasn't been of help to modern families either. When we are talking about marriage and talking about family, since marriage is the bedrock of family, So without marriages, there won't be families. And that's why we say that since family is the bedrock of every society, and God is interested in every society. God is interested in what happens to us, how we work. So you see, when he's still married in the Garden of Eden, you see the devil coming in, destroy the person. Okay? Chicken came on board, the mother came on board, that family is almost destroyed. That to the point where we have to find ourselves where we are now waiting for Jesus Christ. We have to come. The made sacrifice for all men. And we also see this playing out on daily basis in lives that things like marriages and marriage. The traditional African state, Africa is really complex. There was always this my child is your child. The conventional lifestyle, contemporary lifestyle, the individual now looking just trying to themselves, becoming an individual in society. So that for me, that weakens the family structure, weakens the family connection. So we're getting to a point where the family is so weakened that in old age, the father and the mother will be there because of the truth. See a situation, mirroring what happens in Europe, in Western world, where people will be taking their businesses, and visit you, maybe they may look at multiplication, extensive one. So this all destroys that spirit of determinism, which is spiritual, best form of Jesus Christ, the Bible says it's a problem. That spirit of oneness. Today, there's no longer a feeling of togetherness. There's no feeling of security among family members. Siblings are strange to each one another. Parents no longer know their children. Children equally no longer know their parents. The father leaves home quite early in the morning, doesn't get back home till late in the night, same thing. There's also the praise for parenthood, single parenthood, same-sex parenthood. This is parenthood glamorized all around us. People are beginning to see it as a beautiful norm, which is unfortunate. So, is marriage and family? The question is, is marriage and family still relevant in modern day society? It is still a good idea. Marriage and family is God's idea for the material world, and then because it is God's idea, then it means that it is still valid. It means that it's a good idea. It means that it's relevant for God. So it's a perfect idea. For this material world, marriage is a perfect idea. Remember Jesus said to the widow of husband and wife, you get to them. He was asking, who's going to know what happened to say? Then they know we come. So that's a different material world, but for this material world, the perfect idea. Spend the whole of your life together. So God created and designed it. It's not a human concept. So what we humans are trying to do by what we are doing presently is trying to contaminate a beautiful creation of God. And whenever man tries to contaminate what God has made, whenever man tries to contaminate it, it will have consequences and never prosper. And these consequences will soon begin to see them in conflict, where we thwart the original definitions of marriage. We thwart our aims and our beliefs. End up having consequences. God established marriage as a permanent relationship between two otherwise, two separate elements can never be the same. So it's either they stay together as a new mystery, or they never be integrated. Otherwise, at the end of the day, Mr. A is never going to be the same. In one of the discussions before I see the market with them, he said it was because hearts were hard that Moses wrote you this book, the beginning of creation. God made them late. For this reason, the man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two become one flesh. So they are no longer two, one. Therefore, God has joined together. This is very simple. This is simple English. This is simple Greek. Simply translated and understood in simple English. We now see God's mind at the beginning of creation, marriage, the man. Then we also see what he said. It's key that a man leaves his father and his mother. That independence of mind before you it's a total, and the total is a union of two minds without independence of parents. So by implication, if marriage were human origin, then of course humans would also have had the right to set it aside. Because it's a divine origin, then it's only God that can forgive, because it's the one that brought it to. So I think it's very important at this point for us to understand the actual definition of meaning. Because many of us also go into it for social media hype. Yeah, all and all, let me just buy everybody's things. The Greek word for marriage is gamera, which has the same English word as gem, but to our rare gems. Okay? Fusion. There are gems like diamonds, rubies, sapphires, including gold, have formed over thousands of years. Whatever it is, wonderful. They are subjected to very varying temperatures. Then all of these elements coming together. Underground, I see, are heated up under pressure thousands of years ago, and work together to transform themselves into the self. So that's the idea of marriage. So which means that it's just a beginning of blending, the pressures, fusioning. So it's a process that goes on and on. Yeah, of course it can take a few minutes to get married. Just got married, a few minutes, 1 or 3 hours. The actual marriage begins to take effect after the marriage. So it's going to over a lifetime. Now it is designed by God as a precious gem. So in the mind of God, there's nothing beautiful about it. That is why it's a lifetime. So it takes sufficient time for two different persons, for two different orientations and biological methods to come together. And when they do, society, health society, can only be built that way. So, you see, this is one of the problems leading to the failures people who not understand the concept of marriage feel that it's a bliss. And so once they are married yesterday, and then the pressures begin to come in a week after, they're not able to understand why some people go to the extent of murdering themselves. But you see, something that is intended to be beautiful is now becoming ugly because of the lack of knowledge. And no wonder the Bible says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So they have failed to understand that marriage becomes stronger that way. Diamond is the hardest gem on earth. They have war like millions of tons of pressure over thousands of years fuse and transform carbonized materials into a crystal that can withstand any other pressure. So in a similar way, when you have external pressure, they strengthen a godly marriage, driving a husband and a wife closer to their father. Pressures coming, and when it comes, instead of putting a wedge, for example, they begin to focus on Jesus Christ, which will help them So just as pressure purifies gold, just as it purifies gold and diamond, so does the everyday pressures of life purifies them. So a godly man and a godly woman face the pressure together, and over time they become so hard, no pressure at all. But the ungodly minds are unwilling to make sacrifices on enduring these challenges together. That's what they become. So marriage is a function of different history, different cultures, different experiences, different memories and habits must be accommodated. So you see that. Building a strong marriage takes time, patience, and moving from single to married does not change because we bring in different things into the marriage. And I just have to choose to have a relationship marriage. What we're doing when we're coming into the marriage, how we adjust to them is within that place rather than this. All of us filter what we see and hear. To our various individual experiences, personal wants, our abuses, quality of our life when growing up, our educational level, our faith, our denominational experiences. All of these affect the way we view the world. All of these affect the way we view our partners. All of these affect the way we view ourselves. So they shape our expectations, they shape our influences, interpret what we see. saying something that that's not how I meant it. And then your spouse is like, no, this is what you are saying. Why are you saying this? And you're like, no, but that's not what I meant. Then if you don't manage that very fragile situation, so whatever our spouse says, we're hearing them to be filters of our own experiences. So our spouse hears everything you say the same. Okay? They hear it. Their unique experience. Their experiences are never the same. So understanding and adjusting these experiences to the way we react to situations based on these diverse experiences requires a lot of time. It also requires a lot of patience. So where we are not able to adjust to all these filters, then we begin to have problems that can cascade. So conclusively, let's look at one of the definitions of the late theologian Miles Monroe, who defined marriage as being a process of fusion of two distinct and different elements into one. Shines brightly in the world of practice. Since family is a foundation for every society, therefore means that marriage is a foundation for every society. So marriage is every organization, every society. Marriage before anything. So it's a physical foundation upon which the church rests. So the New Testament describes the relation between the church and Christ as the spiritual and talking about submitting to your husband as a God to the wife as Christ is the husband's love the wife. So we see the relationship there. The wife should submit and the husband should. So I think I will explain this. The relationship between Christ and his church is a presentation of what happens between us and the wife. God cannot do anything. This is why Satan is God is interested in marriages because those marriages produce healthy children that produce healthy societies. And God is interested in healthy societies. So a healthy society in all its forms depends on marriage for its survival. From Genesis all through to Revelation, the Bible often uses the word house to refer to the smallest and biggest unit of society. So house represents a home. We have nations that are suffering. We have nations that are corrupt. You just go back. The various families that make up the society, that make up this community, that makes up the states. Then you find that these families are corrupt. Corruption can start from this. People need the government. It's not the government that is corrupt. So the government are a reflection. The corruption is a reflection. The corrupt market is a reflection. The corrupt school is a reflection of the society. The society is a reflection. So good family management is a fundamental requirement for church leaders as we see in 1 Timothy. As an institution, the terms of the covenant may be clearly spelled out at the beginning of marriage to establish clear parameters of how families relate to that. Make sure that everyone involved understands their parameters. Very important because they control. Couples during courtship could discuss their philosophies of life, share their dreams, identify them, plan their strategies of meeting these dreams and goals, agree on financial planning, investment savings, the number of children, and very important. These things are ought to be discussed before because the marriage is a contract, not after you got married and then you begin to have divorce. Now, a lot of people get married because they don't understand this concept of marriage. They don't understand that marriage has to be lots of pressure. They don't understand how to read and interpret statements and behaviors from spousal experiences. And so they have a rather different understanding of marriage. I think we just look at why people marry wrong. What are those wrong reasons why they marry? Okay? Reasons that has no God in it, outright. And of course, not marriage faith because they lack knowledge. Okay? So, nobody should get married without first asking himself, why am I getting married? First, you saw people get married wrong because they feel, I want to get back at my parents. They feel it's a way of running away from home, from responsibilities, from washing dishes, from fetching water, from washing clothes, running around. Okay, so possibly they see their homes as unhappy homes and they're looking for escape. And they consider those marriages as escape. So in the end, they engage in exchange of some kinds of unhappiness for one another. They now get into an unhappy situation which is worse than the unhappy homes that are coming. So this type of marriages have already failed before they begin. The overriding reasons for getting into those marriages are bad. So you have there are anger issues coming from where they are coming from, resentment, bitterness, which they harbor about their parents. So, and then they move into another home thinking, well, I'm going to have peace. And all of these negative emotions, they are brought in. And once they get together, they don't get love, they don't get patience. Indices for marriage, patience, they will never be patient. And what they feel as love is never love. Because we're going to take that. Some get into marriage because they have a hope for just self-image. Okay, so hope that they get married to Mr. P or A, their life will be settled. Their life will become meaningful. Their life will become beautiful. They feel marrying this rich man will solve all the problems. Okay? Some of these self-images may come from our poor background, but from former relationships or marriages which step discouraged because of that self. So you can imagine you are hot and in doubt, and then suddenly someone comes and shows you sympathy and compassion. So both of you will mistake that sympathy and compassion for true love and make a good decision to get married to its convenience. Marriage, I must tell you, doesn't solve the problem of a negative self. Rather, it magnifies the effect. So we all must find our self-worth in our relationship. Transfer that self-worth. This negative self. Some other persons men also make the mistakes, varying to the men bachelors. So when a person marries out of fear of being left out, either the marriage breaks or they just bear it, being too embarrassed to admit their mistakes. So they sacrifice. Then you have some who have a bit of independence. They've been able to depend on others, their parents also. So they cannot just imagine staying alone. So they are desperately looking for that. The reality of independence that I don't understand. So they want to marry somebody so that they can survive. Okay? They want to depend on others. They cannot depend on their parents and others, then they should depend on something. Some wrongly get married for sexual forgetting also that all those things that are very so get married. What children? I'm going to marry this tall guy. So once he's tall, so when married is a bit but students, these are the reasons why get married because God wills it. Do it because you want to please God too. Okay? God is interested from the choice of our life partners. And because He's interested, He can direct us. Get married to express the agape love, the divine love. Okay? A true love characterized by sharing of joy and sorrow. Yes, these are the reasons. I want to share my joy with somebody. I want to share my sorrow with somebody. I want somebody else to share in my life. To fulfill sexual needs in godly ways. Okay, committing yourself to a trusting lifelong relationship. Having desire to express and first from the first level. Because we have a desire to begin a family. A desire to have children is a godly desire, but it's not family reasons for marriage. So happiness in marriage does not depend on the presence of children. But children are a wonderful blessing. Marry rightly because of companionship. Everyone has a natural belt in need for example. When you are social being, you are not whole until somebody else. You are not complete until you relate. So that companionship will make other people's needs. Share life. And of course, enhancement of spiritual connection. Whereby the both of you walk by faith and encourage you everywhere. Bear in mind that the man is spiritual happiness. Now we look at the wedding. Okay. The first human miracle in history. When wedding, Adam and Eve. On the altar, Garden of Eden. It was said that God, who served as the priests under the ordained by the marriage of Adam. Surprisingly, you go to the New Testament, you also see that Jesus' first miracle was not conducted anywhere else. It was conducted in the marriage reception in Cana. Can you see? The first two chapters of Genesis contain important clues what marriage needs, like why people find that situation. Other marriage outside presence of. So yeah, in God's presence, they share the same spirit. Their qualifications as contained in the book. You know, no one can think that God has joined them who do not come to the marriage altar in the context of God's word to be joined in His presence. So every day, thousands of people around the world get married. Whichever way they get married falls under the marriage trees without most of them face. So they are all assuming that people to be married are assuming that God has joined them. In most cases, it's a lie. Because those marriages do not have the foundation in the word. They do not share the same spirit. They oftentimes are never born again, and as such have no guarantee of receiving God's blessings. Unfortunately, most born agains are not knowledgeable enough. They embrace the world's value for marriage and are not focused. So according to scriptures, the man and woman are equal in blessing, power, authority, position of headship and society. Why? It was a matter of timing and knowledge. Headship is a leadership. Once no longer have that responsibility, that she becomes okay. But still retain the headship name. But this headship here is a call to responsibility. A call to be at the forefront. You know, their duties, they call their duties. You know? And when you relegate as a husband, when you relegate those duties, those husband's duties, or obligation to his wife, because when there's a twist to the marriage, it's not a hook and line issue. And in such situation, you see the man becomes the Victorian, trying to struggle to gain back his headship. So in its place, he becomes annoyed, he becomes bitter, he becomes resentful of his wife. So he beats, he fights. You know, he tries to become authoritarian. You know. But that's because he does not understand that he has abdicated his responsibilities as the head of the family, or to some other person who may even be his elder, as we have seen in many regards. So, in the headship, the husband receives vital information from God, upon which the family's security lies. He bears responsibility for what happened as a result of all his instructions, just the way Adam was made to bear responsibility for what happened in the Garden of Eden, even though he was not the one that initiated sin. So, the husband's headship is based on knowledge and primarily involves teaching and instructing his family in the ways of God and all spiritual matters generally. He decides where the family is going, while the wife decides how they get there. So you check his responsibility. But his decision may get it. He provides things. I want to work with that's a lot of you. Body responsibility. But he failed to watch out for his wife. That was his responsibility. If he had protected his wife, she wouldn't have been in that position where she would have been. So he was supposed to be her cover and guide. Okay? The question to ask Adam, where was he when that encounter started? Because it wasn't a one-off encounter. It must have been encounters for days and days and days and days. Okay. So where was he? It was not where he was. So that's the issue. So when his wife offered him, he should have known better, haven't heard from God already on the issue. Okay. So, but he was too weak to resist his wife. Again, he lost his strength, his masculinity. And then he lost control. And as such, he had to bear the responsibility of what he lost. To bear the responsibility. And the wife, at that point, now began to seek headship. But she took control. She was not the decision maker, instead of it being vice versa. So in this Adamic union, fellowship with God has been lost outrightly because something had gone wrong. The headship has been compromised. Adam was no longer in control of his family. He has lost it to the man whom Eve heard from and obeyed, which was the devil. So love was lost and fear came into that family. Everybody began to hide from each other. Everybody began to distrust each other. Everybody began to hide from God. Everybody began to blame each other. It was your fault. No, it was your fault. You know, and then troubles began in that. No one was again ready to take responsibility for any trouble in the house. And all blame game. More blame game. And the Lord disappeared. Each blame game, everybody suffered. Each blame game, the love in that house. Now let's look at some of the indices that are required for marriage. Some of those things that helps to strengthen your marriage and family. You know, because I told you I see it's a lifelong thing. First is love. Now as a young man growing up, we used to hear love is blind. But that's funny. Love is never blind. Okay, love sees, love hears. It's we who choose to be blind, maybe because we don't really understand the context of love. Okay, love never fails. It never fails. It is alive and lives forever because it's a spiritual thing. Love is not something you see; it's immaterial. You know, so because it's immaterial, it's spiritual, and because it's spiritual, it doesn't die. So it lives forever. So love in marriage is more than just a happy feeling or a happy emotion. It's the result of our daily choice. You understand the choice you make on daily basis concerning your spouse. So it is you who determines to make your home beautiful, to make it sad, to make it great. They are all as a result of your decision between the two of you. Okay? Knowing you have a contract of love with your spouse will keep you out of temptation when he or she angers you. Okay? Before leaving to your workplace to meet a charming secretary or an attractive woman. So you could have married someone else, but that wasn't before you married your own. So if you have issues, your decision to solve the issue before leaving. Because when you take that resentment out of the home, then you get to the office, you see that your secretary is smiling and offering you a cup of coffee. It's difficult to resist the temptation of adultery. That is, compound cycle of resentment and anger. So love in itself has to be seriously understood. And then we look at that. Secondly, there has to be a marriage that is built on lies leaded from immediate collapse. Spouse must be transparent and true to each other. That's just a favorite. Then trust and faithfulness. Nothing damages a marriage like distrust or a broken trust. You have to grow in an atmosphere of suspicion. You have to grow in an atmosphere of bitterness or mistrust. Partners must strive to do all they can to ensure that their trust is nothing down. There should be no secrets, no suspicious behavior with the phones or conversations, no suspicious behavior with body language, no suspicious behavior with finances. It should be transparent. And there has to be commitment. Commitment is the blood that keeps marriage alive. Marriage itself is to commit to one another. So it's a bond. Be part of the spouse. That's what ties to. Everybody should hold up in very nice. Respect their wives. You understand? And the wives respect. Women are good at respect. You give respect. Yes, give disrespect. Give up. Men should respect their wives and wives respect. Men who treat women like trash, like garbage, no matter what, they get garbage to like they compound to resentment. Submission, Ephesians 5:21 clearly demands from a two-way submission. So the submission is not just one. Submission is being willing to surrender to ourselves, your rights. All those rights that we have is my rights, my business. Ability to submit to the other person, he or she to submit his or her rights, to you freely. You just surrender it without any insistence on having a way, anything. So it means putting the needs and rights and welfare of the other person. So as I'm putting the needs and welfare, of my wife ahead of mine, but she's also putting mine. So there's submission. Most people go into not marriage without understanding what marriage is or what is not. So knowledge is number 7. You must know what you are going into. So most people go into union with unrealistic expectation of themselves, unrealistic expectation of their spouses, unrealistic expectation of a good relationship itself. So they build very high hopes and expectations, which are unrealistic when they go in because of lack of knowledge. By each, you have patience. Patience is a critical key in dealing with crisis. When crisis comes, when there are conflicts and there's need to adjust to each other's experience, what helps you to adjust is patience. The adjustment. man must be this situation. There are personality and character traits that should be involved, that you match with all of these: financial stability, patience, commitments. There has to be adaptability. No matter how prepared we are, marriage is unpredictable. Nobody can predict marriage, so there will be unexpected situations. But we should be able to adapt and not be rigid to these situations when they change. There has to be empathy. You have to be sensitive to the needs, wants, and desires of others, feel with them, and experience the world from their own lens. Every one of us has a way we interpret things, so you should be able to feel and interpret from their own perspective. That's the best way to understand the other person. Ability to work through problems. Some problems cannot be solved. Yeah, some their problems are not solved, but couples can walk away from them. Okay, and they should be able to discuss and analyze them. Because insisting on solving the problems will cause further problems. Certain problems you just walk away from them. Later they just solve themselves, they fizzle out. So ability to give and receive love. It's difficult for men to actually give love, but it comes naturally to women. So as a result, most men have a problem with expressing love and true feelings. Okay, marriage is a continuous giver. If men cannot express love by words, they should express it by action. And the best way to express love by action is gift. The Bible says, "For God so loved the world that He gave." Then there has to be the ability to communicate, to be able to ensure that your spouse understands not what you say, but what you mean. So spouses should be able to communicate effectively to themselves. Effective communication without any form of misconception. Because many times we have lots of issues among couples because couples misinterpret the meaning or the messages their spouses are trying to present. In addition to that, couples must be emotionally stable. Never lose control of your life. Never lose control of your life. Be willing to accept responsibility for your feelings. Always accept responsibility for your words and actions. Again, let me quickly tell us something as students. It's very important that when you want to get married, you look at similar family background. As unimportant as it appears, it's a plus if marriage is undertaken among the same social level. If you decide to take marriage, man is different social level. They'll require lots of patience. They'll be able to understand each other eventually. So marriage from similar background, it makes it easier. Similar culture makes it easier. Similar religion makes it easier. Now, there are fundamental reasons why men and women in marriage oftentimes do not understand themselves. And then they fight, and then they quarrel, and then they seek divorce. If only spouses will understand that their makeup is unique, the uniqueness in their nature. As a man, I'm different from my wife in terms of my makeup, my thinking process. And so when I do certain things, she made me wonder, why is this man behaving like this? He's behaving like this because he's a man. This is how he was wired to. So if she understands me, then that's how deep. Case two. Let's look at some of these differences. Men think logically, while women feel emotional. So women are very emotional. You appeal to their mind. You speak well. That's what captures it. But we sight. So we operate like computers. Process information analytically, be precise and predictable. For women, they process information based on how they feel. So for them, feeling is more important than reasoning. You understand? Oh, this food. This food. I feel like it. Yes, the man feels this food. Yeah, but if you eat it, what will you eat tomorrow? So he's processing analytically, logical. For the woman, emotional. So emotion without logic and logic without emotion result in life without order. So you see, there should be a blend. So God created a blend in marriage so that the logic will complement the emotion. Two, men's words don't say how they feel. When a man speaks, he's saying what he thinks. While women's words is an expression of how they feel. Yes, so men understand things differently. Women understand things. A man hears words and understands them as information. A woman will hear same words. She will attach a much deeper personal and emotional meaning to those words. So when couples understand these differences, they won't quarrel over what you said this or how you said this. Women are interested in details. Men are interested in principles. When I first got married to my wife, she keeps asking me so many questions. Oh, why did you go to that place? Okay, when you went there, what did you see? How was it? Oh, they bought a cow. How big was the cow? What's the color of the cow? Really? Do you know how much the cow was bought for? And I'm like, why all of these questions? You know, so many details. You just want to know so much. For me, it's just enough to know a cow was bought. Whether it's a black cow, a brown cow, a green cow is not an issue. A cow is a cow. But a woman will want to know, is it a black cow? Is it, how big was it? How much did they buy? So they are interested in details. So by design, men are leaders. Leaders think only in principles and concepts. The leader sets the vision and direction, while details are left to subordinates. So that's just our design. So you don't have to slap your wife over questions. Why are you talking to her? Ask her, oh, take this one. How are you? In material things, women focus on what to buy. They spend so much time. They spend so many hours in marketing. Their focus, which is what to buy. What of men? How to buy it? Just what concerns me. How to buy it? So I go, I pick, I pay. I don't even bother to price. Okay. Now, in spiritual things, women focus on how, and men focus on what. So a man will say, let us get closer to God as a family. Okay? Then the woman will say, how? How do we? You know? So, the man will now give the direction. Let's have prayers. Let's have exhortation with the children and all of that. Okay? Now, when it comes to issues that we consider as problems in the family, show a man the problem. He will file it away in a cabinet in his heart and keep doing other things. But he will come up with that problem. She will not have it. It is solved. So my wife can just tell me, well, the fuel in the car is gone. Oh. And I'll say, oh, it's gone? Okay. All right. And then I keep on reading my book or watching my movie. I should keep writing. Did you hear I said the first thing? Honey, I said the first thing. I've heard. You said it and I understood. I heard you clearly. She is not thinking that I heard. You know? So she keeps saying it. So to avoid conflict, a man must learn how to act quickly. And a woman must learn to be patient. Now, in addition, a man's job is an extension of his personality, while a woman's home is an extension of her personality. So a man can be on his job 24/7. Even when he comes with his laptop on the bed, he's working. But a woman can detach herself from her work once she gets home. She is able to do that detachment. Men are nomadic. Can carry his bag and say, well, we are relocating to Jerusalem next week. Prepare. We are going to Zamfara. We are relocating. Women are not nomadic. They need security and roots. So you see them resisting. No wonder many men
After retirement, they want to go back on their men will tell them, we're not going, we're not going to follow you. That's because they are not nomad, they need security, they need you. So it's a matter of understanding. Men are stable, women are always changing. Once men take decision, they stubbornly stick by. That's why I hear women saying, my oga too stubborn, husband. So women tend to become easily involved and very quickly. That's why they're often, sorry, I'm not trying to make jest of women do, but they are often victims of fraud because they are easily involved and very quickly. While men tend to stand back and evaluate before getting involved. Reason and emotion complement each other. Men will reason. They don't just commit their money into any stuff. But women will carry their money, they will drop the bar, carry it drop before they start reasoning. Men need to be told again and again. Women never forget. Sometimes I'm sitting in my wife, she's like, oh, remember 2001? Have you forgotten that house we went to? And I'm like, oh, really? Long forgotten. But women don't forget. That's why we must be very careful how we treat our wives, because they never forget. Now we'll now go to the topic of understanding love, which I told you I was going to examine. What does God say about love? Read Deuteronomy 6:5, Leviticus 19:18, Matthew 5:44, and John chapter 13, verse 34. Now, part of the problem we have with English language is the interpretation of the word love, which is inadequate. The English just has one blank word for love. Love. I love my car. I love my So that definition is not complete, isn't it? So English use for love is not conclusive. It is used to describe feelings or attitude towards a range of objects. So why say I love my wife? I love my car. I love my dog. So what's the difference? I love my wife, and I'll say I love my dog. Love for wife, for dog. So you see, it's inconclusive. Unlike the English, the Hebrew and the Greek were not so restricted. The Greek used 4 different words for love. So we have phileo, storge, eros, and agapeo. With each of these words identifying a separate and distinct type or degree of love. And in the scriptures, it's only agapeo and phileo that are found in the New Testament. So let's see how the Greeks, from the context of the Bible, identify love. Phileo, friendship love. So from the Greek word, phileo means friends. So in the most general Greek word for love is phileo. It refers to that kind of love that exists between friends. Okay, so it doesn't qualify as the highest form of love. It's not a blanket word, love, but it doesn't qualify as the highest form. Its focus is only on personality and physical attraction. So since personality traits can change, the love can also change, and therefore is a love for conditional. Then you have storge, closely related to phileo. It's a love that exists among family members, parents to their children, children to their parents, cousins, nieces, aunties, kind of love is called storge. Then you have the eros, which is the sexual love. Eros is the Greek demon. The Greek led in worship the beauty of the human body and sex. Okay, so this in real life has nothing to do with love, since sex can exist without love and vice versa. So eros is completely sensual. So it's an emotional desire and craving fueled by feelings, and therefore rises and falls as feelings do. So true love isn't controlled by emotions. So a person under the influence of this demon will see his sexual partner. Will see his partner as a sex object that must be conquered. So it's selfish and doesn't regard the feelings of the other person. It cares little for dignity, human respect. It just tells you it feels good. Just do it. And this is the modern God for love. This is what we see today. It's basically eros, promoted on social media. Then you have agapeo, which is the highest form of love in a class of its own. It was coined from the New Testament writers to feel the need for a higher love, higher above all these other 3 kinds. So outside the New Testament, it's found only in one ancient Greek text to show the love between a parent and the only child. I also like the Japanese description of love. The Japanese concept of love is I will die for you. So if I tell my wife I love you, it means I will die for you. So that which will make me die for somebody else is love. So the love of God for his people is agape. It carries no obligation, it carries no expectation, it carries no condition, it's sacrificial. Unlike eros, agape acts for good and welfare of the other person. John 3:16 for us, he gave his only begotten son, and whosoever will listen shall have it. So God alone is the source of agape. Apart from him, it is not known. And it is the true love that unites. And when you are connected to godliness, when you are born again, that part of God enters into you, and you're able to live as husbands and wives with this agape. They have problem. Because in that marriage, each person is looking after the welfare of the other, not selfish. I always see the other partner as being my priority. That partner sees me as being there. The direct expression of love is in giving and receiving. God gives to man gives to woman. The man loves, the woman responds. Man receives from God, woman receives from man. So in any marriage, when a man fails to give to his woman, he malfunctions. Likewise, when a wife cannot receive from her man, or she is forced to give her man, she malfunctions. So the plenty of family troubles will be averted if men and women know simple principles. That males are designed to give, and women are designed to receive. Multiply, give back in abundance to the man according to what she has also produced. In loving our partners, we need to understand their unique needs. Men carry the seeds of reproduction. They are driven by sex needs. Women are not driven by sex needs. They need affection, expressed through hugs, kisses, flowers, common courtesies, open the car door for them to entertain them their music. Acts of thoughtfulness and honor. True self. For men, no. A man needs a woman to be involved in his recreation and activities. He wants her to share in his football, desire for watching football, sports, and news. Unfortunately, women do not understand this. She doesn't understand that a man wants his woman to experience what he likes. A female's second need is communication and conversation. She wants her man to talk to her. A silent man is an emotional killer for a woman. The man needs an attractive woman. He is stimulated by sight of us. He needs a woman who takes care of herself, her hair, her dress, her nails, her eyelids, her lashes, all of that. Men need all of that because they are stimulated by sight. But the woman, all she needs is openness and honesty. It doesn't matter whether the man wears pencil trousers all throughout his days. Doesn't feel. The husband's needs, another need is domestic support. He needs to come to work to peace and quiet after a hard day's work. But a wife's fourth need is financial support. She may not be a major issue if she's working outside the home. She needs to feel secure financially to meet the demands of the home. Finally, a man's need is respect and acknowledgement. However, men bear the responsibility to behave in an admirable and respectful way. Because if you don't behave in an admirable and respectful way, you don't get it. So the woman's final need is commitment. She needs to know that her husband is committed. So no matter who we are, male or female, married or single, the greatest thing we can do to love our partner in every relationship is to understand their unique needs and then commit ourselves to meeting these needs. It's what we call that. Adam and Eve enjoyed a marriage in which they were equal partners, sharing equal rights and responsibilities before sin broke in. And corruption brought in all the male-dominated marriages. So understanding submission is so critical to the long-term success and happiness of marriage. In Ephesians 5:21, Paul's instruction concerns mutual submission. A wife submits to her husband as the Lord, and the husband should love his wife. So what this means in practical terms is that the husband deserves and has the right to expect submission and respect from his wife to the extent and degree that he himself lives and acts like Jesus towards her. Simple. So as long as he acts like Jesus towards her, he's Lord. She respects him, she submits to him. But the day he fails to act as Jesus towards her, the day he fails to act as the Lord towards her in that relationship, he no longer has the right to expect submission from his wife. Unfortunately, the sad truth is that most men don't deserve submission as they have failed to live like Jesus in their marriage. They still act like Adam. Adam knew he was guilty but refused to acknowledge it. Secondly, he became afraid. Thirdly, he hid himself. And finally, he felt ashamed. All these are common experiences for all men. Even when they know they are wrong, they refuse to admit it. They hide behind their ego, their status, their strength, their money, their jobs, their friends, their fame. Okay? You may seek out a mistress or hide under alcohol. Have a great fear of being naked. Fathers about following that must be willing to accept responsibility and give their lives to their wives. No reasonable wife will fail to respond to a man who truly loves her, who covers her, who protects her, who provides for her, and who makes her the center of his life. Within the overall context of loving his wife, a husband's first and primary role is to be the spiritual head and teacher in the home. Through his word, lifestyle, and personal behavior, the husband should teach the word, the will, and the ways of the Lord to his wife. Unfortunately, in many believing homes and families, the wife knows more of God's word, yet the husband wants the wife to submit. Let me just share a few helpful tips with you before I round up. In marriages, rebuke but don't criticize. If you criticize your spouse, you are closing doors to openness, as it destroys the person's spirit, it brings hurt and resentment. Okay? So what you should do is to rebuke from a loving heart. A rebuke focuses on the solution, while criticism hammers on the problem. 2, don't get too familiar. Couples should be intimate friends, but not too familiar, as familiarity causes a comfort that makes couples take themselves for granted. Familiarity takes away adventures, takes away cares. Show appreciation. Let other partners know what they have done is recognized. Men have this problem more than women. There is nothing unmanly for a man to say to his wife, "I love you, thank you for what you've done." Don't ever assume love. Never assume that your partner knows how much you love your partner. You should express the abilities. Show courtesy. Open doors for your wife. Pull out the chairs. And as a wife, don't be too shy to exercise the courtesy. Finally, let's look at marriage and sexual intimacy before I conclude. Modern times has sexual image and messages everywhere, on the streets, billboards, airwaves, television, internet. And unfortunately, the church has little to add to the discussion. Christians who should know God's mind about sex to speak more intelligently and confidently about it to others are not knowledgeable enough. The community of believers are ashamed and silent to talk sex in church. No sex-oriented programs. Whether because of embarrassment, confusion, ignorance, or feeling that sex is too personal and not spiritual for the church to talk about. They don't really know. In the eyes of sinners, love and sex are bedmates. If you love me, you sleep with me. That's the slogan. So the world paints a sad picture that love goes with sex. In marriage, sex is for procreation and for the shared joy it affords. It is fun and designed by God to be pleasurable. Christian families should be adequately informed that sex in marriage is very important, and no partner should deprive the other for any reason. Okay? Christian families should be warmly protected, good houses should be provided. Children from Christian families need to be taught diligence and not lazy and irresponsible. From childhood, children should be taught jobs at home, sweep, wash the dishes, and all of that. Not everything should be left to the highest help. Children should learn to be hardworking from their formative age. They should be taught to make their beds, tidy their rooms, bedrooms, and clean out dishes after meals. They should be taught to be orderly and careful with their clothes, toys, and books. They should be taught how to manage their time. They should be taught how to earn and save, how to spend money. They should not be allowed to squander whatever money they are given by their uncles during festive period or by their friends. This is so because 90% of children of wealthy people don't earn their wealth. When their parents die and leave all the wealth for them. Before you know what's happening, they are all poor. It is my hope that all of us who desire to marry and raise a family will never appear before the judgment throne as guilty parents and as a failure to humanity. God bless you. Thank you. See you at the other side. Thank you.